Hey students, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take this rather plain HTML page and turn it into this. We're going to divide this into 4 steps. The first thing we're going to do is create this column in the center of the page where all of our content is going to go. You can see it has a gray background, has rounded edges, and a border. We'll do that first. Next, we'll add this image background. You can see here we have a picture of tiger stripes that are covering the entire background of the page, and that's an image. So we'll add that next. After that, we will add the nav bar here in the HTML. This is simply an unordered list, but we'll turn it into these button shapes and make it into a nav bar. And finally, we'll add this blue background and the image in the upper right corner of the tiger to what's called the header tag. And make it look like you see here. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we need to do is go down into the HTML section of our page, find the opening and closing body tags. We don't want to select those tags, but we want to select everything inside of the body tag. So click and drag from the top to the bottom, but not including the body tags. And up here under Insert, insert div. It's the very first option at the top. Keep the insert option as wrap around selection. And let's give this div the class name of content. And hit OK. Now if we look at what has happened here, we see there's a div tag with the class name of content. The div opens here on line 41 on in my code and closes way down here right before the closing body tag. Now that we have a div tag with a name, content, we can go ahead and style this area in our CSS styles. Let's go back up into our CSS area and add a new style selector. We're going to use the class name of content to style the div. So what we do is put a dot in front of the name content, opening curly brace, and hit enter. Now we can begin to style this content area with some rules. Let's put in first width, let's go 960 px, and background color, and I'm going to use a light slate gray. Remember to put a semicolon at the end of each of those lines. If I save that now and go ahead and look at my page, we see now that all of the content of the page has been enclosed in a rectangle shape, and that is the div tag. Okay, let's keep adding styles to our page. It would be nice to take this div area that we've just created and center it in the page. Let's go back to the code view, go into split view so we can see what we're doing. To center the div on the page, we simply use the margin property and use 0 for the first value and auto. We can see now that the div is centered on the page. Let's add padding of 20 pixels. That adds a little bit more space around the edge of the div. Let's add a border, 10 pixel solid white. Let's add a little bit of a drop shadow. That's box shadow is the name of the property. And the value is actually 3 numbers and a color. I'm going to use 10 pixel, space, 10 pixel, 10 pixel, and finally black. I think I'll go ahead and add a border radius. That gives it a rounded edge. 15 pixels. Let's save this and go back and look at it in the browser. Now we see just by adding a few styles, we've really improved the page a lot. Let's keep going. Next, we're going to add a background image to the body of the page. We already have a body style, and it's here. We can only have one, so let's find the one we already have and add a few more rules to this style. To add an image, we simply go background-image as the property name. And then we put in URL parentheses, and we can simply click Browse to browse to our Images folder. And in this case, I have this background image all ready to go. Click OK. Make sure I put a semicolon at the end of that line. And now we see up above in live view, the background image has appeared. Let's look at this in the big browser window. There you go. Now I have a really cool background image. There are a few more properties you should use with background images. Background-size with the value cover. We'll make sure that image covers the entire background of the browser window. And background-repeat :no-repeat. We'll make sure that the image doesn't repeat. It only expands and covers the whole page once. There you go. Just like that, you've added a background image to the body of your page. Okay, you can see how easy it is to style your page by using CSS. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to add a header area with a background image and make a nav bar.